I got a concern. What were you doing during the regular season that you just now figured out that you only have 5 guys that you could play in an NBA playoff game? What were you doing? JJ Redick, that is a literal question. What were you doing? That you get to game 4 and you figure out that you could only play 5 guys in an entire half. Rob Pelinka, what were you doing? What were you guys, what goal were you guys trying to attain during the regular season? I'm not asking the players. The players are who the players are. They got nothing to do with this. Yes, are they supposed to go on the court and execute? Absolutely. But they got nothing to do with this topic. I'm asking literally what JJ Redick and what Rob Pelinka were doing that you get to the first round. Look, I could see if this was the Western Conference Finals, if this was the NBA Finals, and you were going for broke and you decided that you only have 5 guys to play if you want to win. I'm not tripping about that. But when you get to the first round, game 4, and you feel like you only have 5 guys you could play, it begs the question of what the heck were you doing during the regular season? What did you think all of this was about? What did you think all of this was for? What were you playing for? What were you coaching for? What were you general managing for? I'm watching podcast after podcast after podcast, and they're all Laker podcasts. Right? So they're all in the Lakers' corner, as am I. I've been a Laker fan since about 1982. Right? I'm in the corner of the Lakers. But I think people are having a conversation that is just fake. It's fake. It's bullcrap. It's fluff. I don't know how else to put it. Because they're making the story that JJ had to play 5 guys over the course of all the second half. That he had to play. That's all he could do. That's how they're presenting it, right? That he was going for broke. He felt it was a must-win game, and it absolutely was a must-win game. All the playoff games are must-win games, right? That's how a team should approach the playoffs, right? But you could tell that there was a sense of urgency in this game that he didn't have in the other games. And how did that sense of urgency manifest itself? It manifested itself in 40-year-old LeBron playing all of the second half. Again, what were you doing during the regular season? In the last 15 or so games of the regular season, when it was obvious that you, JJ Redick, were trying to establish your playoff rotation, what was that for? Was that just a show? Was that just to make it look like, hey, look, I'm a coach, and this is what coaches do? Coaches establish their playoff rotation. About, 10 to 15 games left in the season. Was it all done in vain? I definitely feel it was done in vain. Right? I mean, that's not an obscene or crazy take on this. I mean, you played 82 games, established a rotation, and you abandoned it in game 4 of the freaking first round. Not the Western Conference semifinals, not the Western Conference finals, not the NBA finals. The first round of the playoffs. You abandoned what you'd established over 82 games. Think about that. It's saying so much more than the conversations I'm hearing amongst the talking heads. When I say the talking heads, I'm talking about the Kamenetskis, Alan Sliwa, Trevor Lane. That's what I'm talking about when I say that. Right? They're having conversations based on fluff. The conversation should start with, was the regular season about the team, or was the regular season about JJ Redick? Was the regular season about the team, or was the regular season about Rob Pelinka? Those should be the questions, and they're fair questions, right? You're the coach of probably the most highly profiled franchise in the NBA. And what are you in it for? It's a fair question when you go a full 82 games. You get to game 4 of the first round, and you can't play anyone except 5 people in the second half. The Lakers fans and the Lakers talking heads, you know, and this is why I had a big beef with, in particular, I generally have a beef with Trevor Lane. I don't like his commentary, okay? But this is why I have a big beef with how Dalton Connect is treated, right? Because if you're literally telling the entire team, and also think about the message you're sending the team for the next game. Just think about that. Think about what you've told them implicitly when you say none of you guys are good enough to play in this second half. Right? So just think about that. That's one. Two, I've had a big beef with how they've treated Dalton Connect all year. How when the season started, he looked like a contributor. He was in the starting lineup for many games, and he really helped the team. Right? And it was almost like they couldn't let him help the team too much, because it would create a problem when Gabe Vincent came back. Or it would create a problem amongst the veterans on the team. So it was like, okay, yeah, man, we like what you're doing, but you're doing a little too good. Could you please pull back? Yo, man, that is such a loser mentality. And that's what I saw. I saw the Lakers playing really well when they had Dalton Connect in that starting lineup, and when they were feeding his confidence. And it was like at some point, someone made the decision that, we got to break this guy's confidence. He's getting a little bit too big for his britches type thing, And it's like they didn't want all that he had to offer. And it's such a loser mentality, man. I keep saying the Lakers have a loser gene in them, because it's like their primary goal is money, right? Whereas when Dr. Jerry Buss and Jerry West were running the Lakers, the primary goal was winning. Because if you win, the money and the success will come. But it's almost like the Lakers now, they're looking for ways. And when I say the Lakers, right, I'm talking about people who wear suits. People who don't play. Right? From the coach up to the owners. It's almost like self-preservation is the most important thing. And I repeat what I repeated in my last 2 videos ago, right? JJ Redick is afraid of what Dalton Connect might show everyone. At this point, if JJ Redick puts Dalton Connect in the game and he kicks butt, right? And he's what we needed this whole playoff series. JJ Redick will have been proven wrong. He will be considered to have been a poor coach up until Dalton Connect came in and helped the team. That's what's going to happen. Funny thing is the way JJ Redick has the team playing, if LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves aren't rolling, the Lakers ain't winning. There is one guy on this team who has the ability to be at least as good as Austin Reeves. And we've all seen him be that. We've seen him be that. And that, in part, is what I feel like was why JJ Redick pulled him back a little bit, reined him in. Was because we wanted Austin Reeves, when I say we, I mean Laker management, right, was in the corner of Austin Reeves and Gabe Vincent. more than anything. And they wanted to see those guys get theirs before Don't Connect came in and took somebody's spot. But back to what I was saying, it's funny because the Lakers need Austin Reeves, LeBron James, and Luka to show up, especially against Minnesota. I don't think they're going to need that as much against Golden State. I think the Lakers would beat Golden State handily. But Minnesota is a tough matchup. Just because they're so big, so athletic, and they're built for the playoffs, and we aren't. So the Lakers needed all three of those guys to show up, right? But we've seen games, plenty of games, where Dalton Connect played as good or better than Austin Reeves. And when I say as good or better, I'm not saying Austin Reeves had 9 points and Dalton Connect had 15. I mean, Dalton Connect showed out with 30 points, 25 points, 27 points, 18 points. And the fact that JJ Redick has chosen to play a small lineup and to shoot 3-pointers at a rate that I think is just asinine. I think it is totally stupid. And I am shocked that no one has pulled him aside and said, hey, look, man, you need to coach the freaking team. Right? I mean, last game, 55% of our shots were threes. It's dumb. It's stupid. It is not sustainable. You see the Lakers playing like that, stand by and wait for the other shoe to drop. What looks like a lead is never going to be a lead. Not against a good team. So you watch the Lakers play that brand of basketball, and it's so obvious. Why won't you play Dalton Connect? We get it. It's easy to throw a narrative on the guy because he's a rookie, right? Oh, well, he can't play defense. Oh, well, he's a rookie. Oh, well, he's never been in the playoffs before. Well, you kind of covered that when you just said he's a rookie. Oh, we don't want to throw him into this situation and, he may fail. Yo, man, it's always something, man. And really, the reason why they don't want to play him is because we all know that he has the ability to flip a game. We've seen it. He has the ability to flip a game. My very first video on this channel was stating that Dalton Connect and Austin Reeves are the X factors on this team. That we go as far as they go. It's understood that Luka and LeBron are going to be Luka and LeBron. And it's understood that Jackson Hayes and Rui and Dorian Finney-Smith and Jared Vanderbilt are going to be who they are. The two who we don't know how they're going to perform is Dalton Connect and Austin Reeves. We don't know. So it was JJ Redick's responsibility throughout the course of the season to know what Dalton Connect and Austin Reeves wore. Austin Reeves generally hasn't played well in the playoffs, right? Not compared to the regular season. It's a different game. It's not. The way Austin Reeves plays, I don't think he was built for it. He's a great regular season player, but he was never going to get to the point of being better in the playoffs, as really good players often are, right? Dalton Connect, on the other hand, has superstar potential. He has all-star potential. And the goal was to know what you could get out of players before the playoffs start. When I say no, I mean no with a plus or minus. No within a certain bandwidth. What you could get out of them. The reason why this deal with JJ Redick playing 5 guys the entire second half is a big deal is because it exposes JJ Redick. Here's how. You start out with Dalton Connect and you see the potential there. We've all seen the potential there, right? I mean, LeBron praised him, saying he doesn't understand how these other GMs didn't figure it out and let him slip, right? So we all saw the potential there earlier in the season. It was JJ Redick's responsibility to get Dalton Knecht to a point that you knew what you could get from him, that you could rely on him for a certain amount. And people keep throwing out because they keep throwing out that his defense, he would have got match hunted and all this other stuff. Luka plays terrible defense, man. And, dare I say, he is a problem for the Lakers on offense. He is. His game is built. His game is Luka-centric. I'll put it like that. It's Luka-centric. So when you have one player who holds the ball so much, you can't be impressed because they got stats. You can't be impressed. So Dalton Knecht, while he should have been closer to a constant than he is now, he is a straight up variable right now. No one knows what they're going to get out of the guy. I always say, though, that in game 1, Dalton Knecht was a rookie. By game 82, if the coach is doing their job, Dalton Knecht should not be a rookie anymore. Right? You should know what you're going to get out of him. You should be able to rely on him for something consistent within a certain bandwidth. Right? That's not what happened with this team. Dalton Knecht should have started the season being not as good as some of our players and ended the season being better than some of them. Instead, Dalton Knecht started the season being good and ended the season being something less than good. That is a reflection on JJ Redick. Right? So I made this video because I don't like the conversation that I'm hearing about the Lakers playing 5 guys the entire second half, because it feels like we are missing the point. You know, the point is not necessarily that they played 5 guys, right? That's not the story. That shouldn't be the story. It is, but it shouldn't be the story. Right? The question is not whether we had anyone else who was worthy of getting any minutes in that second half. The question is, why the heck is JJ Redick coaching in such a way that he does not know what he's going to get out of the rest of the team? Don't tell me those guys can't play. You went through a whole process of establishing a playoff roster. Don't tell me they can't play now. Too late for that. And this is the other half of it, right? So you go and you do that, right? You sent a message. In my opinion, 2 messages, probably more, but off the top of my head, these are the 2 messages you sent. One, the other guys on the team aren't good enough to play. A worn out, tired Dorian Finney-Smith and LeBron James is better than the guys who got us here over the course of the season. That's 1. 2, you just told the team, yo, I just fired every bullet. Ain't no more left. We gave 100%, that's it. Yo, it's 1 more game left in this series, at least. Right? So when you go and you empty your chamber the way you did, in my opinion, very unjustly, right? Almost to the point that you owe your team an apology, JJ. You need to go to them and say, hey man, I messed up. That was a rookie move. It was a rookie mistake. I should have went with the guys. I should have danced with those who brought me. And I didn't do it. Right? He sent 2 messages, man, and both messages are not good. Right? You don't trust your team. That's 1. And 2, with potentially 3 games left in this series, you told your team, hey man, we just shot everything we got. Ain't nothing left. Bad move, man. Bad move. And again, I am so disappointed at how they've done Dalton Connect. If his defense was poor, and that's the reason why you can't play him, because that's a scapegoat they're using. That's a scapegoat they're telling everyone. When I say they, I'm talking about Trevor Lane, man. He keeps throwing that out there. Oh, we can't play him. He's such a detriment on defense. He's going to get match hunted, this, that, and the other. Let me tell you something about match hunting. Match hunting is okay if you remain within the offense while you do it. Right? Match hunting is a detriment to a team if you go out of your way, breaking continuity, breaking chemistry, in order to find a mismatch. It don't work. It's one-on-one basketball, and it doesn't work. So, Trevor Lane, what I just said is true. A bunch of you may be saying, no, that's your opinion. No, it's true. What I just said is true. When you go out of your way, significantly out of your way to find mismatches, you're breaking your offense. The rest of the team is not touching the ball. And when they do touch the ball, they're probably not going to make their shot because they haven't been integrated into the offense. You see what I'm saying? So what if they match hunt Dalton Connect? So what? Let them match hunt him. They're breaking their offense when they go out of their way to find a mismatch. Let them do it. I don't. Sometimes it feels like company talking heads are winning. Because I don't understand what they're defending. I don't get it. If I would have told you the way Dalton Connect started and the way he finished, and you hadn't watched, no, it's not really a function of you watching the game or not, man. I mean, if the way Dalton Connect started, natural progression says he finishes better. He's going to go through some ups and downs. He's going to go through some slumps. But he's going to finish better. He didn't do that. And it's so abnormal that when you have a rookie who shows what he showed early in the season, right, that he ends up worse than when he started. And you got to start thinking that that's a function of the coach and the organization. It's not a function of Dalton Connect, because there's something about him that tells me he don't waste time, man. He's in there working. So how is it that he ended up worse than when he played game 1 of the NBA season? I asked that rhetorically. I know how he ended up worse, because it follows the same logic that JJ used to play 5 guys, only 5 guys, over the course of the second half of game 4. Right now, scratch that. In the second half, when the second half started, every one of the players that did not play is worse than they were in game 1. Do you understand where I'm going with that? Right? In other words, Dalton Connect got help to be worse than he is now. I'm sorry. He got help to be worse than he was at the beginning of the season. He got help. Help in the form of being benched. Help in the form of sacrificing minutes to Gabe Vincent, who was absolutely awful while Dalton Connect was playing good. Dalton Connect got benched so that Austin Reeves could get his groove back. He did. He was a sacrifice. It was Dalton Connect who had to step aside because, hey man, Austin Reeves got good, but he ain't really start out that good. Dalton Connect was the one. And I don't know, man. Look, I always tell my kids, when you see something illogical and you just can't figure it out and it makes no sense to you, I guarantee you it makes sense to someone. Someone understands why those illogical actions were taken. Why it happened. Somebody understands. Right? And I'm telling you that when I look at this Laker team, and you look at the fact that we started the NBA playoffs with not a playable center. No center that deserved more than 10 minutes a game. That makes sense to someone. It looks totally illogical to me. Some of you may look at it and say, oh, that's good. We get to play small ball like a dumbass. Some of you may say that. But I've been watching basketball since 1982. 45 years, man. Makes no sense to me. And I know that it makes sense to somebody. Dalton Connect starting the season the way he started the season and ending the season not getting any minutes unless the Lakers were up by 25 makes no sense to me. But I guarantee you it makes sense to someone. It makes sense to someone who had it in their best interest to kind of stunt his growth, to not make him be a problem as far as playing time goes, as far as deferring to veterans go. It makes sense to someone. I could tell you that much right now. And when you see JJ Redick do something, I think it was totally illogical what he did the other night, playing 5 guys 24 minutes straight. Totally illogical. Not a wise move for the game to follow, and not a wise move for the game you're playing right now. Right? I know why he did it. It's just stupid to me. You know? But the bigger issue, the bigger question I have is, the bigger thing I want you all to consider. It's not that he played 5 guys the whole second half. It's that he didn't know or trust his roster. Or you could say he didn't prepare his roster enough to play them in the second half. At all. Outside of the starting 5, he couldn't play anyone else. Yo, that's a function of JJ Redick and Rob Pelinka. Right? And I'm more inclined to say it's a function of JJ Redick. Because JJ Redick, whatever Rob Pelinka puts on the court, right? JJ Redick could probably co-sign. He could have probably co-signed Trey Jamison getting on the roster. See what I'm saying? Instead, we play 5 guys all second half. You know? Anyway, this is Pure Uncut Lakers. Please like and subscribe. Yeah, man, I'm frustrated. And ain't no one saying that they could coach the team better. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that, when you ignore fundamentals of basketball, right? If you have a gunfight and you bring a knife, right? What is there to be said, man? They told you it's a gunfight. You know what I mean? And I feel like the whole world has told JJ Redick, yo, it's the playoffs. You're bringing this to the playoffs. What are you thinking? What are you thinking, man? Anyway, I'm going to come back with another video tomorrow. I'm tired, man. Again, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.